Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here is a picture of another chart. And there are 4 questions that I want to ask you about this chart. Question number 1, is this stock in a trend? Question number 2, where would we enter into this trade if it isn't a trend? Question number 3, where would our stop order go? And question number 4, what would our profit targets be if this stock were in a trend? Take a couple minutes to look over your chart, and we'll be back to walk you through the answers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we've had a couple of minutes to analyze this chart. So let's go through and answer the questions that I've asked you. Number 1, this stock is clearly in an uptrend. So we established that this stock is in an uptrend. Number 2, where would we enter into this trade? And there's 2 possible answers to this. In a trend trade, we are looking for the stock to pull back to our 9 or our 15 EMA. Okay, in this particular case, at 10:15, the stock pulls back and hits our 9 EMA. We are going to enter the trade at exactly that spot at $54.75. We have now entered into a trend trade. We have bought this stock with a limit order. First thing we're going to do, stop order. And we're going to risk, this is a $54 stock, we're going to risk 50 cents on this trade. Our stop order would be at $54.25. We have now entered into a trend trade with 100 shares when our stock hit our 9 EMA. Let's go back to the chart for 1 minute. If we only enter a trend trade with 100 shares when it hits our 9, we will not sell this stock until the end of the day or until it breaks the trend. So in this case, we bought this stock at $54.50. Let's assume this is 4 o'clock. We would have just sold that stock at $56.70 and made $2.31 on that trade. So we bought at $54.75. We sold, let's just call it $56.75. We entered with 100 shares and we made $200 on that trade. Great. That's the first way we enter into a trend trade. The second way we enter into a trend trade is if the stock hits both our 9 and 15 EMA. And remember, we just talked about this when we talked about a trend trade. We're going to enter with 1/3 of our position on the 9 and 2/3 of our position on the 15. Let's get the exact prices for that. So in this case, the stock hit the 9 at $55.29, and then it hit our 15 at $55. We bought 100 shares at $55.29 and 200 shares at $55. Our average, 300 shares, let's call it $55.18. Now we have entered into a full trend trade. And when we enter into a full trend trade, we are going to exit this 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. So we're long at $55.18. When this stock hits $55.68, we are going to sell 100 shares right here. When this stock hits $56.18, we're going to sell 100 shares. And our last 100 shares we are not going to sell till the end of the day or if this trend breaks at any point. Very, very important. Keep in mind, once we have entered this full trend trade, stop order goes 50 cents below, and we are going to keep raising our stop order to lock in our profit as this stock starts going higher. So when we're all the way up here and our trend is at 56.23, our stop order would be, and let me go write it down exactly for you. When we're all the way up here at 56.23, our stop order is going to come all the way up $55.73. So let's review the trade. We sold 100 shares for a 50-cent profit. We sold 100 shares for $1 profit. And our last 100 shares from $54.75, we sold at $56.75 for a $2 profit. In this trend trade, we made $350, excuse me, on 300 shares. We're going to do this with every single trade that we talk about. So we're going to go over the trade with you. We're going to put up another chart that may or may not be that trade, and you're going to figure out when to enter these trades, when to exit these trades, where to have stop orders in these trades. Let's move on to the next trade.